You're listening to Workplace Matters. Opioid overdoses resulted in more than 100,000 deaths in the US during 2021. Americans are twice as likely to die from an opioid overdose than from a car crash. Today we will be talking about a fast-acting treatment for opioid overdose that has recently been made available for over-the-counter purchase, Naloxone. The FDA recently approved a Naloxone nasal spray, also known by the brand name Narcan, to be sold over the counter. It can be purchased for $40 to $50 and is good for 3 years. It can be easily administered and will reverse the effects of an opioid overdose. Dr. John Gaal is the Director of Worker Wellness for the Missouri Works Initiative and a longtime advocate for supporting workers with substance use disorders, particularly for opioid use.
In the first quarter of 2023, the FDA approved it as an over-the-counter drug.
The availability of naloxone over the counter significantly increases access to the lifesaving drug. Family, friends, and individuals concerned about the opioid crisis can now carry naloxone with them. Every year, more and more individuals and workplaces are impacted by opioids and overdoses.
I did a hand-raising poll and said, hey, how many of you all know someone who's either has an opioid use disorder or has died from OUD? And I don't think we had but maybe 6 hands not go up in that whole crowd.
John was reminded just how prevalent opioids in the workplace are when he got a call about an overdose on a job site.
This business representative from this union asked me to get on the phone. It was a superintendent on a job site. And he said, I just wanted to share with you that some workers here on the job today were working in a crew. One of them went out to his truck for lunch. Another one, a few minutes later, had gone out to his truck because he forgot his lunch. And he walked by the other person's truck and saw him slouched over. Fortunately, he called 911, and first responders were there in a very timely manner, and they were able to save him. But we're not always going to be so lucky. What if that guy didn't go out a couple of minutes later? What if it would have been at the end of lunch that he went out there?
The nasal spray can fit within any first aid kit. In the same way that someone having a heart attack would need an AED or heart defibrillator, someone having an overdose would need naloxone. John spoke at a construction safety conference to advocate for naloxone being in workplaces.
And they asked us to come and speak about mental health, opioid awareness, and suicide prevention. There were actually 300 people in this room. And so I said, show of hands, how many of you all have first aid kit on your job site? Well, 100% of the hands went up. All right, show of hands, how many of you all have AED sitting right next to your first aid kit on the job site? And I'd say probably 8 out of 10 hands went up, you know? And then finally, I said, how many do you all have Narcan sitting next to the AED and first aid kit? 1 hand went up in that entire room.
To use naloxone, individuals should be trained. Fortunately, there are many ways to receive this training.
I would suggest if an employer is interested in getting his or her personnel trained in the administration of Narcan and naloxone, that they reach out to their local Red Cross. They have a training program available, but I wouldn't stop there. I think there's a number of agencies that you may not have considered. Reach out to your local fire department and see if they can point you in the right direction. A local agency that deals with public health or mental health. And I think the important thing is when you're reaching out to them, don't just look for the training, look for the supplies too. The training's no good if you're not walking away with the Narcan.
There may be an understandable hesitation from an employer to give someone naloxone due to liability. But for those not experiencing an overdose, naloxone is harmless. The specifics of each law vary from state to state, but many states have Good Samaritan laws which will protect people administering naloxone from liability, as John explains.
As long as you intervene on someone who you think is having a medical issue related to your training, and you do that with the fiduciary of the program you were trained in, you would be covered. from liability. I heard somebody recently liken it to the concept of seatbelts in a car. These are all just forms of harm reduction. The fact is that that's just what Narcan is too. Until a tragedy hits your dining room table, we don't do anything about it. I find it hard to believe that it's 2023 and we're debating this issue of saving people's lives. It just breaks my heart.
Workplace Matters is supported by the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. To listen to more podcasts, view our ongoing video series, or for more information about us, visit healthierworkforcecenter.com. Thank you.